Welcome to your daily Mars weather bulletin, starting with conditions for our surface rovers before we dive into the three-sol forecast. Perseverance operates at Jezero Crater, where on Sol 1947 of the mission it drove 358.9 meters, bringing its total odometer to 44.97 kilometers, and that update is already 2 days old, with no newer drive published. The climatological model estimates for today at this operating mission site show a high of -27 degrees, a low of -74 degrees, winds at 79 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.6 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.41. Perseverance has sent Sherlock imagery from Jezero Crater on Sol 1949 of the mission. Curiosity operates at Gale Crater, where on Sol 4983 of the mission it drove 29.3 meters, bringing its total odometer to 38.02 kilometers, and that update is already 2 days old with no newer drive published. The climatological model estimates for today at this operating mission site show a high of -28 degrees, a low of -70 degrees, winds at 57 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.68. Curiosity has sent Navcam imagery from Gale Crater on Sol 4984 of the mission. Ju-Rong is dormant at Utopia Planitia, where the last published traverse record puts it at 1.92 kilometers in total on Sol 347 of the mission, and no later movement has been reported. The climatological model estimates for today at this last confirmed mission site show a high of -42 degrees, a low of -79 degrees, winds at 104 kilometers per hour, pressure at 9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.4. InSight is retired at Elysium Planitia, and as a stationary lander it never drove, so it has no traverse distance and no odometer at all. The climatological model estimates for today at this final mission site show a high of -27 degrees, a low of -71 degrees, winds at 51 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.8. On Sol 624, daytime highs average -30 degrees, with the warmest reading of -17 at Olympus Mons location. A dust storm dominates the sky with a dust optical depth of 1.41 at Perseverance location. Winds peak at 139 kilometers per hour at Olympus Mons location. Overnight lows average -76 degrees, dipping to -93 at Olympus Mons location. Temperatures remain deeply cold with averages near -30.7 highs and -77 lows. Dust storms persist with increasing optical depth, while wind speeds gradually decrease from 137.44 to 116 kilometers per hour. At Perseverance location, pressure is 7.6 millibars, visibility is 3 kilometers, and water vapor is 9.4 micrometers. The 5-sol trend shows stable temperatures around -30 highs and -76 lows, with dust optical depth hovering near 1.1. We now turn to the crossings of Phobos across the face of Mars. Phobos makes its first crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 20 minutes. In Los Angeles, the crossing happens between 5 in the morning and 5:20 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there. While in New York, it runs between 8 in the morning and 8:20 in the morning as Mars remains above the horizon, and in London, the event occurs between 1 in the afternoon and 1:20 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 50 minutes. In Los Angeles, the crossing happens between 12:10 in the afternoon and 1 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon there. While in New York, it runs between 3:10 in the afternoon and 4 in the afternoon as Mars remains above the horizon, and in London, Mars is below the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 50 minutes. In London, the crossing happens between 3:50 in the morning and 4:40 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, while in Los Angeles and New York, Mars is below the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing across the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 50 minutes. In Los Angeles, the crossing happens between 3:30 in the morning and 4:20 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there, while in New York, it runs between 6:30 in the morning and 7:20 in the morning as Mars remains above the horizon, and in London, the event occurs between 11:30 in the morning and 12:20 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon. Mars is currently in the constellation Gemini. For observers in New York, Mars rises at 2:02 in the morning and sets at 5:08 in the afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Mars Weather. Stay safe out there, and we will see you again soon.